there, welcome into the show. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend and your weeks are off to a great start. You know what this week signals? The return of the Philadelphia 76ers. They play the Bucks in a season opener tilt on Wednesday night, and coming up, the Bucks going to be missing a key player in that opening game, and we have multiple Sixers injury updates to get to as well. Before we explore and dissect and talk about all of that, be sure to join the channel and join the family here at 76ers Now. Everything that you need to know about the Sixers all season long can be found right here on this channel. We just surpassed 20,000 subscribers. Let's continue to grow the stable of real ones. Shams Charania with the news a little bit earlier today that Milwaukee Bucks star Khris Middleton is expected to miss Wednesday's season opener against Philadelphia. He is out to start the year as he rehabs from offseason ankle surgeries. The Bucks are cautiously progressing Middleton toward a return. I said surgeries because this offseason, Khris Middleton had not just one ankle surgery, he had two ankle surgeries, and he had a surgery on each ankle. So a pretty lengthy rehab process for him. And since signing that lofty contract with the Bucks, he has struggled with his play. He has struggled with injuries. And that investment, it's not like the Bucks have gotten a lot from that investment outside, of course, from winning that NBA championship in which Khris Middleton helped lead the Bucks to alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo. In 2023-2024, in 55 games, 15 points per. Season before that, 33 games. So the last 2 years, he's missed about a season's worth of games. Prior 2 years, 66 games played, 68 games played, and when he's right, really good three-level score, efficient from deep, really good from the mid-range, and at one point, he was one of the more underrated offensive players in the NBA. In place of him under Glenn Rivers, Taurean Prince expected to start in Middleton's place. Another veteran, but obviously not the player that Middleton is even right now as he gets a little bit older. So when you think about this 76ers-Bucks matchup, still a good Milwaukee team. The starting five you would imagine would be Damian Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., Taurean Prince, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. And for Philadelphia, obviously, we'll see what the injuries look like on that front. But when they're healthy, Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Paul George, Caleb Martin, and Joel Embiid. The Bucks last year, 3-0 against the 76ers. I've been waiting so long to see a Joel Embiid against Giannis playoff series. We have never gotten it, but because Chip, the East is so deep, we might be able to see it this year. But with Middleton, how does his absence affect Milwaukee and in turn Philadelphia?
Yeah, look, a big loss. There was always a question of whether he'd be ready this early in the season coming off, as you said, those ankle surgeries on both ankles. But he was good. Once he actually came back from Milwaukee during the second half of last season, he was really good in the first round against Indiana. Just, Giannis was injured. Middleton was playing through injuries. He didn't practice at all in the playoffs, only played. He put up 27 a game. So he's a very underrated player for them even still as he gets older. Obviously you have Dame and Giannis, and they're going to be the ones carrying the team. And, I'm not going to say just because Middleton's out, the Sixers, it's a cakewalk. But when you need a player who can score at all three levels, he's such a good pull-up jump shooter from three, from the mid-range, and he can just get to his offense, and it's instant offense from really. And when you are replacing Taurean Prince for him, it's obviously a very, very big downgrade, and he's still a decent defender as well. So hopefully the Sixers are all healthy. We'll find out tomorrow on Tuesday if Paul George is going to be able to play. Looks like Joel Embiid and some others are going to be able to play. But still going to be a great matchup regardless. Hopefully Philly can get their revenge from last season. But no Khris Middleton does make things interesting if Paul George can play and the Sixers are healthy.
Yeah, it's wild what the NBA regular season has become because there is so much talent in the league, both the East and the West, so deep as far as talent goes. And these teams are talent-rich. The league is talent-rich, but any given night, you're like, who's going to be on the floor? We have absolutely no idea. Who you got in this game? Type MIL for the Bucks, PHI for the Philadelphia 76ers. Season opener for the Sixers. Can't wait for it. And coming up next here on the show, we're going to talk about some 76ers injury news. But first, We here at Chat Sports, myself and Chip, right here on 76ers Now, are so happy and excited to bring on a brand new sponsor on board here on 76ers Now. And to celebrate this, because this is huge for the company, and you've helped us get to this point where great sponsors want to sponsor our content, I want you to type DK as many times as you can down in the comments section. Because DraftKings, the newest sponsor of Philadelphia 76ers Now. The NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing rebounds? Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets that you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time, new DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code SixersChat. That's code SixersChat for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. And as far as our DraftKings picks, here is Chip's parlay. This is awesome. Plus 1326. 76ers -3 against Milwaukee. Magic money line against the Miami Heat. Cavs -5 against the Toronto Raptors. Grizzlies -3 against the Utah Jazz. So producer Chip cooking up that parlay right there. That's what you call a 4-leg parlay. Get $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Thank you to DraftKings for making today's 76ers Now possible. As for the latest 76ers injury news, the latest on Paul George. George did not participate in practice, but was getting shots up and jogging after practice after suffering that hyperextended knee in that preseason game against the Atlanta Hawks. Here's what PG8 had to say about his injury. I guess my leg just kind of got stuck, my knee locked up, my leg locked up, and when I went to go push off, like all my momentum is going forward in my leg, it just caused it to go inwards. It'll be back strong and better than ever. It wasn't nothing major or no concern. I should be back hopefully sooner than later, but it won't be a long timetable. Let's all do this together. We can breathe a little bit easier now because the 76ers averted a disaster and we averted what would have been a heartbreaking moment before the Sixers season even starts. If Paul George were to be hurt for a long period of time, he will be reevaluated on Tuesday. So we're recording this show Monday, October 21st. He'll be evaluated the 22nd. Sixers in action on the 23rd for the season opener at home against Milwaukee. We'll see if the home crowd at the Wells Fargo Center in South Philadelphia will be able to see him play. Sixers second game, October 25th, on the road against the Raptors. After that, 2 days later, on the road against the Pacers in Indianapolis, October 30th at home against the Detroit Pistons, and then November 2nd against the Grizzlies. So no back-to-backs here, which is obviously ideal as the Sixers ramp up that schedule and get it underway. So let's hope for a positive update here. It'd be awesome to see Paul George on the floor in front of the home crowd. The crowd will be electric whenever he makes his debut, obviously. Philadelphia's not going to rush this, but with opening night, when you know that your prized free agent acquisition is going to be available, just adds juice to the arena.
Yeah, and by all accounts, avoided a major injury here, which is great news. Paul George did deal with a similar type of injury back in his days with the Clippers. He said this one is not nearly as bad as when he hyperextended his leg and got a bone bruise back then. So will he be back Wednesday? I hope so, because it'd just be great to see him play opening night with this team. But even if he doesn't, I can't imagine it's much more than a week tops after that that he's going to be out, just because of what he's saying, what Nick Nurse is saying, and what we're seeing. There were some videos that came out of him after practice, although he didn't actually participate in practice. Him and Embiid were getting jump shots up. He was running around a little bit. He looked pretty good. Obviously, there's a lot more to playing in an NBA game than just shooting a couple of jumpers and jogging around the court. So we'll see if he is medically cleared and able to play. But regardless, again, not a severe injury. Should be back soon, I would imagine. And of course, we'll provide you an update as soon as we know more on that on Tuesday.
From Paul George, one star, to another, in Joel Embiid. He participated in everything but the scrimmaging portion of practice. When the Sixers said that they were going to be cautious about Embiid, load management, him playing, they weren't lying. I mean, he's barely done anything throughout the preseason. Tim Bontemps of ESPN on Embiid here. I think Embiid is going to play on Wednesday if I had to guess, but he hasn't played in the preseason. There hasn't been an official update. He looks great from a body standpoint, lost a bunch of weight. Everything I've heard, it seems like when he's been on the court, it's looked good. To my knowledge, there is nothing that has happened from an injury standpoint, and that's good. Philadelphia is just trying to manage this right now. I don't see why there would be any reason Embiid does not play on Wednesday. Look, we don't know of a further injury. He came back off that knee surgery. We know that the surgery was a little bit of like a short-term type of healer. Wasn't right against New York. Took a little bit of a break. Played for Team USA. No other surgery outside of that. So you hope that Embiid is going to be able to play in this game. As for Tyrese Maxey, he got hurt the other night in the Sixers preseason tilt. Suffered a right thumb contusion in that preseason finale, but the Sixers took him out of the game. He did not return, just out of precaution. Everything is fine with Tyrese Maxey. Nick Nurse on him, suffered that right thumb contusion in that preseason finale, but he is doing just fine. And if we could see Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Paul George on the floor with one another for this season opener, going to be electric at the Wells Fargo Center. Jared McCain update. What a wild injury. He suffered a pulmonary contusion. He took a hard fall last week, which caused that injury. Status TBD. A lot of clips floating around right now of him with this camera everywhere. And Kyle Lowry's like, dude, can you just turn that off? And McCain's like, I'm vlogging. I'm getting B-roll. And Lowry, the veteran, can you just turn that off? It's a funny clashing of generations there. He took part in all of practice until the scrimmage. He appears to be trending in the right direction. Even when he's healthy, we're going to have to see what his rotation minutes are going to look like. Be sure to hit that subscribe button here on 76ers Now. Thanks for rocking with us. And thanks for supporting the show. And thanks to DraftKings for making it possible. Sign up today. We appreciate it.